Good morning, Africa. Good morning, America. Good morning, Europe. Good morning, Asia. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are. Today, I want to start with a new and famous quote from the reigning Miss Universe, who is Zozibini Tunzi from South Africa. And her quote is simple: I needed to believe in myself because we are different and we have different parts to play, and because of our different parts to play, we have different power. So what do I mean? I mean that all of us have a way of impacting society in a special way because we all have our own parts to play. So let's play them with pride and not want to be anybody but ourselves. So, to the agenda of the day. Today, we are continuing with our series on BBI with Mother Nature, and this is part two. And in this part two, we are talking about air pollution. What is air pollution? Air pollution can be defined as chemical and solid particles in the atmosphere that cause serious harm to our health systems and to our environments. It can also be defined as the byproduct of industrialization that brought about urbanization and has indeed brought about chemical elements and particles in our atmosphere. Air pollutants can be divided into two categories. Category number one are the natural air pollutants. These are volcanoes, wildfires, and allergens. At the same time, we have the other category, which is the human activity-based air pollutants, and these include chemicals and fumes from factories, car emissions, mold, pollen, and what? And dust. Today we are going to talk about three major air pollutants, that is the greenhouse gases, smog, and toxic pollutants. So what is greenhouse gases? Greenhouse gases are the gases that result from when we burn fossil fuels. These include things like carbon dioxide, methane, fluorinated gases, and nitrous oxide. These gases, when they are in our atmosphere, they trap heat into the surface of the earth, which is not proper because heat should be reflected back to the sun when it hits the earth's surface. So when heat is not reflected back, what happens is that there's an increase in global temperature, and then this global increase in global temperature is what results in climatic changes. So what happens is there is an actual cycle in air pollution. The cycle is air pollution causes greenhouse gases, and these greenhouse gases causes an increase in temperatures. This affects the climatic change. This causes climatic changes, and then climatic changes increases air pollution, and then air pollution increase in temperatures. It's a cycle. You see, it's a cycle. So when there's an increase of air pollutants, that's when you get climatic changes. People have always been debating that climatic changes and air pollution are one and the same. Actually, they're not, but they are related. When there is an increase in when there is climatic changes occur, they also affect and cause a change. They also affect and cause air pollution because climatic changes are what bring about things like what do we call this? Climatic changes will bring about things like smog. They'll bring about smog because of excess heat. They'll bring about mold because of excess something like floods. They'll bring about excess pollen being in the atmosphere because of warmer temperatures. At the same time, increased temperatures are what bring about greenhouse gases, and these greenhouse gases are what bring about air pollution, and the cycle goes on and on and on. So now that we've discussed greenhouse gases, the next air pollutant that we need to discuss is smog. One, we need to know what is smog. Smog is a gray or brown haze that affects our ability to see, that affects and reduces visibility. At the same time, what forms smog? Smog forms as a result of ultraviolet radiation, and it's a result of climatic change. And the worst part about smog is that it has got serious effects on our health. Smog is what is causing asthma. It's what is increasing the heart diseases. It's what is causing defective birth. It's what is affecting our reproductive system. Smog is what that it looks like what do you call this? There's this thing that used to happen a long time ago. Okay, when you live in the countryside in the morning, like when the sun is rising, that's haze. But now smog is not good for anybody because it has more bad than it has good. Smog is categorized into two classes. The first class of smog is the sulfurous smog. The sulfurous smog results from chemical compounds that have the element of sulfuric sulfur oxide. Sulfur oxide can be gotten from when we burn fossil fuels such as coal. At the same time, the second category of smog is called the photochemical smog. Smog. Smog, you feel like saying, I don't know, smog doesn't sound like such a natural word, but it's such a really, really bad word. So the photochemical smog, excuse me, is also called the the ozone, ground level ozone. And when you call it the ground level ozone, it means it's a reaction of sunlight and nitrous oxide and volatile organic compounds. Volatile organic compounds, actually these we know a lot about them because volatile organic compounds, we get them from paints, we get them from gasoline, we get them from cleaning solvents. Actually most cleaning solvents have volatile what volatile organic compounds. So when you're going to buy the next packet of Omo, when you're going to buy your next packet of Refreshener, the next, okay, sorry, I said Omo, I'm saying cleaning agents. Whatever cleaning agent you do, you use, I'm not branding anything, I'm just saying whatever cleaning agent you use, check if it has volatile compounds, and these compounds are what actually increase air pollution. The thing about air pollution is that we as human beings spend 80% of our time indoors because we work in our houses, we work in offices, or we work in offices and then once we leave the office we go to our homes. So these days the air pollution that we should be most concerned about is the air pollution that happens in our homes, because in indoors, in closed environments, because these are the environments that we're spending 80% of our time in. At the same time, I am still talking about the same thing, planting trees. Planting trees is really going to help because trees are going to give us are going to emit more oxygen into the environment, and this is going to combat the levels of these greenhouse gases. At the same time, there are possible solutions that despite planting trees, okay, I'm always going to push and advocate for planting trees. One tree per person is all it takes to increase the tree cover and at the same time to cover these issues of pollution. Despite smog affecting our visibility, it also harms plants. It gives distress to our respiratory system, and at the same time, it irritates our eyes. You could be going to see an optician today or tomorrow, and you don't know what is wrong with you. It could actually be a result of smog having entered your eyes, and now it's because it's a chemical reaction that has it's based on ultraviolet rays and all that. It could be what is affecting our eyes. So we need to work really, really hard to get smog out of our system, to get smog out of our atmosphere, and to actually reduce the amount of fossil fuels that we're using, to reduce the amount of volatile organic compounds that we are using, and to basically clean environments. The other pollutant that we are talking about today is toxic pollutants. These include things like mercury and lead and dioxins, and also benzene. Benzene is what we get from burning gases and coal, burning things like gasoline and waste in burning waste. So we are always told like burning waste is a good way to try and get rid of waste from environment. But instead of having waste that we need to burn, let us get other solutions like using recyclable waste that we do not need to burn, because anytime we burn something, even when we are cooking in our homes, the fumes that we're letting out, they're taking out the amount of oxygen in our air and replacing it with greenhouse gases. So if we can avoid burning things, even the waste that we're having, if we can avoid using waste like polythene papers and all these that need to be burnt so that they can be getting rid of, because when we bury them they're also going to affect our soil. Let us hence resort to materials that can be recycled, and when we use materials that are recycled, we are hence saving our environment, we are cleaning our air, and overall, we are making our world a better place. So let us talk about the solutions, the effects of air pollution. The major effect of air pollution to our health is that it causes cancer, it affects our reproductive system, and at the same time, it causes a lot of birth defects. That is why you could find that we are having children who have so many diseases because it's not that we can really do much about air pollution. Air pollution is called the silent killer because we don't know what you're breathing in. We'd want to know, but we cannot quite tell what you're breathing in. So how do we solve all this? Let us know how we can clean our air. Let us advocate for cleaner air, and as a result, we will be saving our children, we will be saving ourselves from cancer, we will be saving our reproductive system, we will be saving our lungs because our lungs are what are mainly affected by air pollution, and overall we'll be saving humanity and working together with Mother Nature. So the solutions that we could use to reduce the air pollution and overall eliminate it if possible, which is actually possible, is first we could reduce the usage of fossil fuels and fossil oils in our transport industries, in our manufacturing industries, and in our electricity production industries. We need to get alternatives. These alternatives can work better for ourselves and for our environment, especially for our air, our atmosphere. At the same time, we need to understand that when we reduce air pollution, we contribute to cleaner air, and having contributed to cleaner air, we contribute to a cleaner environment, we contribute to a healthier human system, and we reduce the rate of global warming. So, in our BBI with Mother Nature today, I encourage all of us to work towards reducing air pollution and to remember that one tree per person is all it takes to create a difference, because this one tree is going to produce some good amount of oxygen and it's going to help to combat the levels of greenhouse gases, because the level of greenhouse gases today, if you knew how much CO2, how much methane, how much nitrous gases you're breathing in, nitrous oxide gases you're breathing in today, how many particles, how much pollen you're taking into your system, how much dust, you could actually just opt to die, because the levels are high, they're crazy, and they're what are causing asthma in our children. It's what are causing strokes, or what are causing cancer. It's what is causing so many defects in our systems. We have caused this because, you know, most of the air pollution and most of the pollution is a result of human activities. So we need to get back to the ground and we need to eliminate these air pollutants, cleaner environment, cleaner human system, and reduce global warming and bring back our climatic patterns that are normal, that are friendly, and that are not crazy, like floods, too much heat, too much. We need to balance our climate, and we can only balance our climate by, most importantly, cleaning our atmosphere, cleaning our air. So this is Elysian. Till next time, adios amiga. Have a lovely day, and remember, you're beautiful within and without. And as Miss South Africa has told us, we are different for a reason, and let us embrace our diversity and play our part in society. Subscribe, comment, like, and share. Until next time, bye-bye.